Hello friends, my name is Carson and today we're going to do something a little different. About a year ago I made a video talking about how to find historical sources to do historical research. So today I thought it would be fun to sort of walk you through how I'm doing historical research for my novel. If you don't know, I am writing a historical fiction novel about Vikings in Scandinavia and the overall medieval Europe landscape. Right now in my story, my Vikings are in Spain and my story takes place in 986 specifically. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of research that I need to do to continue writing my story, and I'm just going to talk you through sort of how I do it, where I get started, and what information is useful to me when I'm trying to look up something for a novel, specifically for the first draft, because obviously I'm writing the first draft. I don't know everything that needs to go into this novel quite yet, but I do know certain things that I'm looking for. Step one is to put a hoodie on because I'm very cold right now. Okay, step one complete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first open up somewhere I can store my stuff. So if you don't have a document for your research, we're just gonna have to get used to the computer lighting. But if you don't have a document for your research, I highly suggest making one specifically to house the information that you're going to use. So I know for Scrivener, they have a section to put your resources in, and for Google Docs, I just have a folder for it underneath the big folder category of my novel. So I'm going to pull up my document for Spain and I'm going to look at what I already have. So I already know who the rulers are, and if you don't know anything about Spain in 986, it is under Islamic control. So it is an Islamic empire, but there are a lot of Jewish people and there's a lot of Christians within the Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain and Portugal together. And that's part of why I chose this particular area, because I wanted to talk about getting to look at the intersection of all of those cultures, and also specifically at the translators in Cordoba. So I'm going to start with just doing a general search of Spain in 986. And we'll see what comes up. So nothing's looking super promising at this point. I'm looking through a Wikipedia for the specific year for 986, and nothing is really pulling to me as being particularly useful. So what we're going to type in is Spain in the late 10th century. So I typed in Spain in the late 10th century, and so now we're getting a couple more things to look at. So I'm going to click on a few of these and read what they have to get more general information before I go deeper into specifics. Okay, so it's been about 10-15 minutes, and so what I've been doing is trying to look up coastal Spain in the 10th century, because my characters are landing in Spain and then they're going to go to Cordoba, which is a big center of scholars and artisans. It's just a huge important center in Spain at this point. So I want my characters to go there, especially because I want them to interact with translators who will be in Cordoba, but that means that I need to know a little bit about where exactly they landed and what they'll see there and what they will interact with on their way to Cordoba, which is kind of difficult to find. So I actually think at this point I'm going to look through the tabs that I have open on my computer, and then I might look for like a kid's book on it. And I know that sounds kind of counterproductive, but if you've seen like the Penguin history books with all of the pictures, I'm gonna look and see if they have something like that for the time period that I'm looking for, because those are really great at just giving you like the highlights and sometimes that's all you need, especially because this is a first draft and I just want to get like the lay of the land clear in my head, but I don't necessarily need all of the specifics because I don't know what content is going to end up staying in the final draft versus what's going to be cut along the way. So I kind of just need those big picture items that my characters are going to interact with so I can write those scenes, but they don't need to be the most historically accurate they can be right now. One of my big tips for researching, especially if you're writing a historical fiction novel, is to make sure that you know your general locations. So like I said, I've been looking at the coast of Spain, trying to figure out where I want my characters to be. You need to know where you're going to start and where you're going to end. Right now for this research, I'm going to start in Leon and I'm going to end in Cordoba. Leon is on the coast. Well, it's a big part of the northwest portion of Spain, but we're going to start in a country and a city in the coast, and then we're going to make it to Cordoba. And I then looked up how many miles it is from Leon to Cordoba, and you're going to want to look that up using flight distances, because the flight distances are going to give you from here to here straight line without taking into account roads, which you don't want to, because if you are looking up something historical, they probably aren't taking the same roads that we have now. You can always assume that maybe for the flight, the mileage, it's going to take a little bit longer, a few more miles to go, you know, around something that they might have to go around, but you want to look at flight mileage because that'll tell you like a straight shot from one place to another. And then once you know the distance between your places, you're going to want to look up how your characters are getting there. So I've decided that my characters are going to get horses and they're going to ride horses there. Then you look up how long it takes to get from one place to another with horses. So I think my Vikings would probably run their horses pretty hard. So I'm thinking about 40 miles a day, 40 to 50 miles a day. And so it'll take them a little over a week, I believe, to get from Leon to Cordoba. And that's not bad. That gives me a week's worth of content though, that I then have to write, things that they see and things that they interact with. So to keep y'all updated with how my sort of research is going, I started with those general Google searches and then I moved more into specific searches for the specific places that I was looking at, kind of figured out some logistical things about travel and how they're going to get from one place to another. And I then went on and looked at some of the best history books for medieval Spain, and I requested some of those for my local library. I am a college student, so I requested them through my college library. And right now I'm going to do some quick pointed searches for things that are more crucial that I need right now, like food, clothing, and environment. And I've been trying to look up the environment and I've been having trouble, so what I'm going to do is look at pictures of the coastline and kind of piece together my own interpretation of what it would look like. Because I don't know any better than that, that's what I got to go off of. And when I say that I requested books for my library, once I get those books, I will piece through them and look for the things that I need. And if there are historical fiction writers out there who want me to do a video on how to look through a sort of dense history text to find the information that you need, then I can do that too and show you guys sort of how I get around it. I don't read the whole book by any means, but there are certain ways to look for the things that you need and find the information that's relevant to you outside of reading the entire text. So if you want a video on that, please let me know in the comments down below. So I'm going to do a couple more pointed searches about the place that I am currently studying, and then I'm going to call it a day for research right now. if I finish research, it should get me through the next couple chapters of the novel before they leave the place that they're at, and then they have to travel, and then I'll have to do more research. But it should get me through at least 2 to 3 chapters of Might, hopefully. So I'm gonna go do those searches and then I'm going to wrap this thing up. Okay, so I did some more preliminary searching and I found out more about the different crops that they would be growing there and animals that they would have. Spoiler alert, it's sheep. They have a lot of sheep, apparently. I did not know that. And I also found out a little bit about what their clothing is. Nothing really super specific, but again, I'm hoping that some of the specifics will come from those library books when they come in. And right now I'm going to be done researching. So thank you for coming along with me while I tried to figure out what I was doing in Spain and what it looked like. Again, if you want to see me do a video on how to find relevant information for historical fiction through history books, let me know in the comments down below. I would obviously love to do that video for you guys. And yeah, that's it. Thank you all for watching. Let me know if you are writing historical fiction or if you have ever thought about writing historical fiction. I'm really curious. Also, if you have any suggestions for channels that write historical fiction, leave those down below too, because I would love to go follow them and watch their videos. If you like what you saw from me and want to see more writerly content, please subscribe down below. My very first NaNoWriMo vlog will be coming out on Sunday, so if you want to see how I'm doing, check in on that video, and I will see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!